Hello, beauties and gents. I'm back. Let me see if I can adjust this just a little bit. It's like really close to me, but I'm going to try to go ahead and get started and get right into it. This is like a totally an impromptu thing. I just really wanted to get this off my chest. And I've been thinking about it a lot. And I just want to say something about it. And hopefully it encourages somebody. I know that it will encourage at least one person. But by the way, I'm Deetra D. Carter. I don't know where you're going to see this video because I post it a little of everywhere. So I am a life coach. I have been working on my love lesson series. It started as a blog and now, it's kind of evolving. So I wanted to talk to you guys about what do you do when it all falls apart. So I've got a couple of situations that have happened and I feel like I am definitely the comeback queen or the bounce back queen. And if that is you, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, because that's how you got to be in this day and time, and any time really. You really got to bounce back from some things in life. So I've got a few different situations that I've experienced. I'm going to talk to you about really quickly, and I'm going to give you a lesson. And then if you stay till the end, then I'll have something for you as well. So to the end of this video, and let's see. Okay, I don't have a lot of time, so let me go ahead and get into it. So you know that when you set a goal, this is what I want to accomplish, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your career, whether it's even your family. This is what I want to accomplish. I expect this to happen, right? But what happens when it just all falls apart? It's just like you just watching it fall apart right in front of you. Like, are you serious? I have worked my off and it's falling a effing part. So you're mad about it. Let's be real. This is why I'm doing this video instead of just letting everybody else do it or whatever, because I feel like I have a different perspective and a different spin on it. Because a lot of people, they're telling everybody, and I'm not against this at all, so don't take this the wrong way, but they're telling everybody, you just need to be positive and you just need to think positive thinking all the way through it. But let's be real. That's just not realistic, because we have some thoughts that are not so positive. Let's just be real, okay? So you don't even got to give me no love on that one. I know it's the truth. Even I'm an amen and heart myself. If I could push the button, I would, or like it myself with that one, because that's just the truth and that's just the reality of it. But there's still a way to work that out. So in my case, I have failed in my marriage. That was an epic fail. Boop. I have failed in my PhD journey. That one's a recent epic fail. And then I've also had some failures in parenting. So I can say that with a sense of, I don't even want to say it this way, but this is how it's going to come out, a sense of pride, because I don't look at failure like the average person looks at failure. I look at it as it was a learning and a growth opportunity. So that's why I wanted to share this with you guys, because failure is only a matter of perception. It's only in the way that you look at it. And if you really believe that you can create your reality, if you really believe that you do have some control over some things that happen in your life, then you feel differently about failure. You can't control everything, but you do have some sense of control. You have control over your actions and your choices. So when I started, I looked at, these are all things I've cried about. Because if I haven't cried about, I don't cry easily, but if I haven't cried about it, then it's really not that serious to me. I may talk about it, but it's really not that deep. So I have cried about my marriage because I wanted that to work. Really wanted that to work. I have cried about this last thing, the PhD journey, because I spent 6 years doing it and it fell apart in the end. And then I've also cried about wanting to be a better parent, wanting to be a better mom. So if you're a mom out there, please give me some love on that. I need some support, air hugs. Dads too. I know that you guys watch sometimes too. I've cried about all three of those things, and they have been really like, oh my gosh, when you feel like you failed at your family and you feel like you failed at your career, I mean, it hurts. So what do you do? What do you do? So listen, I went on this obstacle course. I'm going to try my best not to ramble, but here it goes. I went for my birthday. I did a zip lining adventure, and it was basically like a series of different obstacles you had to go through, and they were all like super scary as beep. I'm not going to cuss. So they were really scary. So for one, you had to learn how to do it, as far as how to use these, the equipment. And then you had to go up, climb up high on stuff and just get across things, jumping across things. I wish I could show you a picture of what this stuff looked like, but it was like really hard. And it took me a while. I guess it took me a while to get it as far as how to use the equipment. So when I feel like I had the equipment, I was like, okay, I got this. And then I was getting across the different obstacles, because you had to kind of go across like from one place to another, and you're like really high up, and then eventually you get to a zip line and you get to do that. But it was just crazy. So I get to a point, right? I'm looking at this thing. I'm supposed to grab onto the rope and swing across to this, it was like this big net. And look at my nails, y'all. I'm crazy, I know. So I got these nails on, and I gotta grab onto this rope, and I gotta swing all the way across to this other net and grab on. So I go grab the net, grab the rope. I'm like, okay, I got it. Nobody was really around to even show me how to do this. That pissed me off too, but that's besides the point. So I grab this rope, I swing to the middle, I get stuck. I'm like, for real? Like, there's nobody around. And I'm like calling for help. I called my son first because, I didn't know where. I thought we were all doing it together, right? But I called my son like, Isaac, and he like, I'm coming, Mom. So, and then another little kid was like, call the guy. So I'm like, guy, I'm pissed. I'm like, guy, like that. They said, call him 3 times. So I called him. And it felt like they was taking forever to get there. Then Isaac I'm going somewhere with this. Then Isaac, my middle son, he gets there. And I felt like he was looking at me like laughing or whatever. He wasn't, but that's how I was feeling, because I felt I was stuck and I just really didn't understand. So I'm stuck in the middle. Finally, the guy gets up there and pulls me back to where I started from. And I still got to swing from this rope all the way across to that net. So I'm like, okay, well, why did I get stuck? Like, trying to understand what happened. So I do it though. I say, you know what? I can't just get down. So I didn't know, I'm way up in the air. So it's either you gonna swing and hit the net, or you figure it out. So I swing to get to the net. I get to the net. My nail breaks. It's still like kind of broke. It starts bleeding. So, and I'm like feeling weak. So I was like, oh my God. So I could not find the strength to get up on the ledge by myself. So the guy got to still help me get on the ledge. So at this point, I'm like on the inside, I'm feeling all kinds of different ways. So I'm like trying to figure out, do I want to keep going on the course? What do I want to do? So I ended up stopping on the course. Like I just said, okay, just get me down, because my hand is bleeding. I don't even know. So I really didn't want to quit, but it was like, okay, if I'm bleeding, maybe that's an excuse to quit. So I walked the rest of it. I only had like 3 or 4 to go, and I was like killing it before that happened, where my nail broke, and it was like my finger was bleeding, and I was just like stuck in the middle, all of that stuff. So I get to the end of the course, and that's where you get to do the long zip line. And I was like going back and forth in my head, like, should I do it? Should I not? I don't even know. What should I do? But the zip line is what I really came for, the long zip line. And even though I had done some short ones, I didn't know. So I get there, and it was like this lady was like an angel, because she was like, you should go ahead and do it. And she knew what happened. I told her what happened. She was like, no, but you should still go ahead and do it. You should do it for your daughter. So if you got kids, this is really going to encourage you. She was like, you should do it for your daughter. So I'm like, okay, okay. She was like, you're a warrior. And she didn't even know me. So, I think I'm a warrior. I think I'm a beast out here. So all she had to do was call me a warrior. So if you're a warrior, then I want to see a like, because that's what sometimes you got to hear when you want to quit and you feel like you just failed at something. So she was like, you're a warrior. You don't give up. You don't, that's not what warriors do. So if you're a warrior, and you don't give up, give me a like, give me a heart, because I already know what it is. So of course, what did I do? I'm like, I'm a warrior. I'm doing this. So I get up there. You wouldn't believe what happened. I get up there and I'm going to do this. And I'm like, okay, there is no way. There is no way that this could go wrong. But when I get to the end, I get stuck again. Okay. So I'm trying to get myself like to the end. If you've done zip lining before or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to get myself to the end. So what ends up happening is he has to come out, the guide has to come out and help me again. So the moral to the story is that sometimes you just need a little help, but you've got to, you've got to finish. You've got to finish. So no matter what that finish looks like, you've just got to find a way to make it work. So bringing this back to life, when it comes to my marriage, I definitely felt like that was an obstacle course where I felt like those high exhilaration feelings. I felt like those deep depression feelings. I felt those excitement. I felt like the frustration. I felt all of those feelings. But at the end, it was like I pushed through and I gave it everything that I had. And same thing with the PhD journey. It was like all these different feelings. But when I made my decision that I'm going to close this chapter, then I had to go through a series of things. So this is where the meat of it is for you. The first thing, you've got to check yourself. You've got to check, was there anything that I could have done differently? Was there any growth areas, anything that I need to work on? So when it came to the obstacle course, this happens a lot of times too. When it comes to the obstacle course, there was really nothing I could have done. And in life, sometimes there's nothing that you could have done. It's just like a fluke. So they're like, I don't know, sometimes it happens like that. And when it comes to like with my PhD journey, the mentor that I got, that's who I got. It was like somebody that was assigned to me. It just didn't work out. And I had a limited amount of time to do it. And that's just kind of how it is sometimes. So there was not a whole lot that I could have done about that. When you talk about relationships, you can't control that other person. So you can bust your behind and trying to do everything you can to contribute, give everything you have, everything. And then it's still like there's two people. So what are you going to do? If there's two people and one person is giving 120 and one person got 10 sometimes, that don't even add up, okay? So we all know that it's not going to work out. So there's not a whole lot you can do. So you got to check yourself, see if there's something that you could have done. And then if there's something you could do, then you fix that and you move on. If there's nothing that you can do about it, then you've got to close that chapter. And when you close that chapter, you can feel good about it because you've done everything that you know how to do. So that's one thing. The second thing is sometimes you just got to grieve your loss. So at the beginning of this video, I know there's been people coming in and out, in and out, in and out. The beginning of this video, I talked about that, where when you fail at something, you feel you're mad and you're like pissed off that it didn't work because you gave everything you had to it, especially when it comes to if you're really in a real relationship, you gave everything you had and you're mad usually. If you're not with somebody that it's not even real, if they're not even upset about it not working out, it wasn't real to begin with. But when you're like, when it was real, you gave everything. So yes, you're pissed off. If it's a job and you gave everything you had and they fired you, then you're pissed off. Like whatever it is, like if it's your children and your children, you gave everything you had to them and they still telling you that you suck as a parent, you're pissed off, period. So you have to grieve that loss. Grieve that loss of what you felt like it should be. So for me, the end of this PhD journey, I felt like I would be getting that PhD. I felt like I would be going to another level. But as the closer I got to the end, I started to see that all this stuff that I had in my mind, it really wasn't the reality of, the situation. That's not how it was turning out. So it was like falling apart bit by bit. And I was like kind of trying to hold on to it as much as I could. But then I came to a point where I had to let it go and had to be okay with letting it go because I had learned the lesson that I need to learn. And that's a whole different video. But I'm just talking about, what do you do when it all falls apart? First thing, you check yourself. Okay, is there anything that I could do? Second thing, you grieve that loss. Then you set a new goal, okay? Because you a winner. You are a winner. So if you believe you're a winner, hit the heart button, hit the like button, because this is exactly what I've done with all of these things, and it always works for me. If within a marriage, that's when I started the PhD journey. I was like, that didn't work. So I'm about to like kill it in this area. And I did. For the most part, I got straight A's in the graduate studies. I was killing it. I was feeling successful. So if you've kind of gone through these stages already, you've checked yourself, like say you went through a divorce recently or failed relationship or whatever, then you've checked yourself, like, was there anything that I could have done? And you're like, okay, I really worked on everything that I could work on to the best of my knowledge. Then now I'm a little sad, a little pissed off, a little frustrated, all of that, dealt with all of that. Then you set your next goal and you kill it, okay? You kill it on that next goal. You shift your focus. You stop focusing on what happened, what coulda, shoulda. Like, I could have been like talking about, oh, well, my ex did this, or I could have been talking about my mentor didn't do this, or I could have been talking about like it was because of how I was raised, and that's why I parented the way I parented. I could have been talking about all of that, but I set a new goal. Leave that past in the past. Like, it's in the past. You know what it is now, and you're setting a new goal and you're moving forward. So what is the lesson in all of that? What is the lesson? That's what I'm all about. What is the lesson? The love lesson or the life lesson in this case? Because this one is I was just really feeling it. So it's not necessarily related completely to my love lesson series, but it's still related. Be grateful for the lesson. Be grateful for that lesson. Get the most out of it and find a way to win. Okay. So with the PhD journey that I talked about earlier, this is my lesson in that. What I learned when I checked myself, I learned that I value my family above everything, okay? If you value your family, give me some love with that. If you value your family, give me a heart or whatever, because I value my family above everything. The reason why I decided that I was not going to go ahead and sacrifice any more of my life to that was because my middle son is he's got his last 2 years of high school, and I cannot miss that. Like, I cannot be at home writing chapters 3, waiting for edits, doing all of that. I cannot do that right now. And I don't regret my decision, even though it was like a painful decision. My family is above everything. So that's what I've learned when I checked myself. What did I learn as far as grieving that loss? What I learned from grieving the loss is that I have a hard time accepting help. So I told you guys that ziplining story where I was like, oh my God. And I had to call for help. Like, that was embarrassing for me because of the ego, trying to work through the ego issues and things like that. So I had to call for help, and it's okay to call for help. I was crying about the PhD thing. So I had to call somebody, come over, and he gave me a hug, like took me out to breakfast to make me feel better about it. Like, sometimes you just need somebody to be there for you. And the last thing that I learned is really that just to learn how to focus even more. That I had like my hands in all kinds of different baskets. Like, I was just doing all kinds of stuff. And from going through, closing that chapter of school, because I've been in school my entire life, literally. So I've been in school my entire life. Closing that chapter, I realized that it's time to focus on an area. Give more of my attention to an area so that I can see it grow. So I really, really hope that this has helped you in some way from the lessons that I learned from my life, because that's why I started this vlog. It's just quicker for me to talk about it. I write as well. But it's quicker for me to talk about it versus writing this stuff. I do plan on writing another book. This is the book that I wrote. I was too busy in school, so I didn't produce another one in the time that I expected to. But that is my book, There's More in You. if you do have any questions about this, because I was just talking fast, like trying to get through it. If you do have any questions about anything that I said, then feel free to DM me or leave a comment, leave a message, and I will be glad to answer any questions. But I just want to leave you with, it's okay to be mad. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be frustrated, because a lot of times people try to tell you that it's not, and they try to just get you out of that. You'll get out of that space when you get out of it. Okay. It's okay. When the stuff falls apart, when everything falls apart, it's completely normal to feel that way. And the way that you shift that is for you to go through that process. So when you fail to accomplish the goal, you feel some type of way, but you can get out of it, because you can decide what your next step is going to be. And it's not like just because you feel like you have failed, really I call it as you have failed forward. You are going to another level. So after all of this I've been through, why you think I'm here telling you? Why you think I'm so passionate? Why you think I'm so confident? Why you think I can even tell all my business and be like okay with it? I wasn't always able to do this. I was not always able to do this. And never will I claim that I've always been at this place in my life. Okay? So push yourself, because you can do it. There is more in you while you're going through it. Remember to treat yourself like royalty, because you deserve the very best, and you better give the best to yourself, because nobody's going to give it to you like you're going to give it to yourself. Okay? So I did tell you at the beginning that I was going to give you guys something for listening to the end. So what I did decide to do, I haven't really been taking any clients because like I have had a whole lot going on, but I will take up to 3 free discovery sessions. So if you are interested in that, and discovery session, it just means like you kind of figuring out, you kind of feel like you need some help getting through some things. You want a fresh start, and you feel like you need some help. I will talk to you about like exploring if I can service you. And usually people, even with 20 minutes and talking to me, they're usually pretty encouraged and feeling pretty good. So I will give that to you. So just DM me. Let me know if that is something that you need right now. And I'll tell you, if you're the first 3, then I'll definitely squeeze you in, figure out how to get you in. And then if you just want this book, then just DM me about this. I usually try to leave a link. Hopefully I'll remember to do that. But thank you for everybody. I know people are off and on and off or whatever. Thank you for everybody that did tune in this time. And I'll be coming with another video here soon, because that's something. What's that other one? Let me see what that one is called. How do I know if this is the one? So that's my next topic for the next time. How do I know if this is the one? That's my what do you think question. This was more of a topic for, more in you as far as focusing on academic and career success. Try to put some of that, the love in there as far as people dealing with failed relationships. So hopefully it helped. Let me know if it helped or it didn't. I just like to have feedback. But until next time, there's more in you. Wow.